Sure to the bill, you know, cause I got people, you got information, not infinite, that's just.
You know me.
Yeah. I'm gonna just sit up front, or you can, whichever you're comfortable. I'll put this over here.
Yeah, we still got somebody coming. We got the doctor coming.
Okay, yeah, indeed. Hey, God, on that note, cause you introduced me to him at the show in pool.
Yeah.
Was he just influenced by you, or he's a citizen of our nation?
He's a citizen of the nation.
Oh, okay.
He's about to go on to the. Right now, he's completing his 1 to 14.
Okay, great. He's a neurosurgeon.
He's going from the 14 to the 20 degrees to 1 to 40.
Okay, so
yeah, he's a certified surgeon.
Woo.
As a matter of
he's
fact,
condolences too, right?
As a matter of fact, he just sent this picture. He just sent these pictures.
Yeah, you can send them to me when you get down. Whoa, look at the God. Look at the God. Yeah, you give me that.
Yes,
yeah, you give me that, man. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to the God, man. That's right, man. Look, we all in the brain.
Yeah. Oh, peace.
He's a neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neurosurgeon and a spinal surgeon.
Woo!
Yeah. So he stays in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. We call that Peaceful Asia.
Peaceful Asia?
Yeah. We call it out there. He linked up with me through a brother named The Original. You know, so now I'm making sure the brother gets through his lessons.
Okay, God, right. Okay, so, and you're Jay, right?
Jacob, God Jacob.
God Jacob?
Yeah.
God Jacob, okay.
He been coming to the, you know, he's a graduate from the Street Academy.
Okay, peace.
He loves the gods. He been coming in, and when he came, Divine Your Education said, you God Jacob. That's what Allah would have said.
Who told him that?
Divine Your Education.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right.
So ever since then, he's been God Jacob.
Yeah, okay.
He's on the student enrollment.
Great. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, we just got here. Welcome to the world.
He's on the spectrum. So he's on the spectrum.
Okay, got you. Yeah, got you. I understand the bill. Yeah, you know, so welcome. And then I do this, as you all know, hybrid. You know, I do it live, and then I do it, you know, through the, we just going through the what born is and all that. The basic rudiments, just to go through that. But just for the audience, I just want to say this here. So, yeah, you too. That's what you know. Yeah. So, that's it. Yeah.
Little baby.
Look how face, he's like, what? He jumped up and touched me. Look at that. He won us. Yeah. So, just for the audience that's listening, so elevation is a integral part of the Newark Street Academy. Great work. I failed. We got to come out there too, God. We got to, you, me, and the team. We got to get out there and see them, man, because they constantly come here. They're doing great work. I mean, in fact, in the earlier parliament, you know, I had to give God his accolades because one of the premises of the Street Academy, you correct me, God, I know you know that, is one of the core is the knowledge itself.
Core values, right? That's our very first core value.
Yeah, the knowing who you are, like Almighty God taught man to teach us on, right? This was one of the things he said prior to him leaving here. He told the guards that on his way out, listen, man, I'll be out, you know, whatever you do is teach on. Like he kind of sensing the atmosphere, but that's what we did, and we took this in different levels. And I remember the God. And I ain't talking about like 1970. I'm talking about like late 80s, early 90s when this was still popping here. Yeah. We had Prince Aquaman and Kaleem and everything. It was going down here. Yeah. Right? And we had a lot of the young guys coming from Jersey here. God was one of them. And Square and a few other brothers who come to them. And they stood the test of time. J Mathematics was born. Born means to be complete. So, but there are stages of born. You know what I mean? I had to go through knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Some people that came with them didn't stay. They went wherever they went. You know, they peace to them, wherever. but they stayed in the midst of everything, the muck and the mire, and fighting, everything, and what we went through when we were younger. Be quiet, shut up, listen, right? You know what I mean? So they understood, and took this knowledge and ran with it. Didn't even know actually myself. The Newark Street Academy, they address youth, people at large, with in terms with the knowledge of self, and different. Because when you speak of knowledge of self, also I had to learn. That's why I was put up on the board the basic rudiments of retain, eternalize, and God. I put the mathematics there, but it's impeccable that you retain information. But it's not. But you have to internalize as well. Internalize means let me take in. You know what I mean? That I'm listening, right? And how does it apply to me? Right. Now, let me say this to you. Lessons will teach us that the duty of a civilized person is to achieve beside precipitation, righteousness, knowledge of himself, and the science of everything in life. Love, peace, and happiness. So yes, you God Jacob, she's the queen. That's the babies, But there are other dynamics that involved in that, like be law abiding, like go to school, vote. Allah taught that. In fact, he himself was in the army, in the Korean War, and left, right? Medals of honor and valor. And then he was in the Nation of Islam, of course, left there, right? But then, one of the premises of why he came and taught us was because, again, one of my favorite pieces is that, the eyes round will give you a well-rounded picture. So Allah seen, hold on, man, like the adults got Christianity, and these people got masonry, and these people got, what these children got? What these babies have? You know what I mean? So he came and taught them the knowledge. And people around him as well. He taught adults, but a lot of our older brothers were children. Black Messiah and Jamel and Al Jamel and Prince and all them, 18 and 16 and 14 and 12. They were young men, adolescents, being taught this. And then they went on to teach the world, taught, and it continued. A lot of our teachers was tough love, loved them for that, you know what I mean? But they got us where we are, they got to go into the Newark Street Academy. When we fast forward, because God wasn't always gray hair. I mean, we were young men, black, young, we were all in there coming through. He telling the truth, he telling it. Coming through here, we didn't, and a lot of us not knowing the course or the direction. You know what I mean? This is what I wanted to do. I'm here. Some people left. Some, even when I was coming up, some people left with me. They like, okay, listen, I'm not gonna stay here as a father. So I'm gonna be Christian, Muslim. All right, peace to you. Be on the hostage. Peace to you. You know what I mean? Here, though, unequivocally, we teach you who you are. Right. There's nothing you can touch, Jacob. Taste, smell, feel, or hear that's greater than yourselves. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the black man, I'm talking about the black woman as well. You know what I mean? That righteous family. So, but more so, right? The understanding of the knowledge itself teaches us to, be right and exact, right? What does that mean? You know what I mean? So again, it's one thing, like I'm telling you, we had a nice discussion. It was basic. Right before y'all came in, we were talking about the ninth degree which is born in the 136. I think now he's a grown big man. Right. He go wrong whichever you have. And how does that apply? You know what I mean? Some people are like, okay, well it means, but it's good to understand it because in this day and time, people are still fearing, I'm not trying to do that. Right?
You see that when people drive, that inherent fear.
People go, I see you. Peace. to this day. In fact, I was just telling him, I had the honor to, I was telling God too, this is the second time it's happened. So I'm in this is deep. I'm with an agency called CJA, Criminal Justice Agency. So they work in partnership with the courts. Right, you can't talk about the arraignment of pre-trial detention and supervision without talking about us.
Right.
So we're sitting there, I'm just starting with this job. So I'm sitting there, so and they, he walk you through the arrest, they take you right through the bullpen, all the way up to the arraignment. So I'm at the arraignment part. Well, the second time I'm at this arraignment part, we had his brother coming from the back. Part of his arrest was that he was talking about whatever he did has something to do with who are the 85%. Now, 85% is a statistic. So I'm not thinking you're talking about the 14th degree and the 1 to 40. So I'm sitting there, she said, yeah, but I'm seeing how statistically, she used that word, and the 85% has, what's that to do with you, right? But then she said, but then when she used this word, see, words of power. When she used the word, I don't, just what she said, I don't see how you, in this complaint, were teaching the 85%. I said, wait a minute. That ain't got nothing to do with that. Sounds like us here. I said, who this brother, right? So I'm sitting there quiet because that's not my job to, So we our peace to him, right? So she happened to look into the audience, and I think she seen we had our little badges on, and we're saying, how you doing, John? So I'm like, may I, real quick? How you doing? Yes, because I know you got some people coming in, 5% honored to be working, in this capacity and whatever, blah. But just to kind of, and I'm just trying to give you kind of understanding from the science. I use the word tenet or belief, but the science. So 85%, they don't know. These are people like, okay, let's use this paradigm. Y'all are the small portion of people who's trying to prevent a continuation of either darkness and the preparation of or the continuation of crime.
Yeah.
The 5%, we just try to give them the knowledge of themselves because they don't know. Because people do things, and that's universally understood through lack of knowledge. I don't know. The God Life is saying that the big man in our degree, the 9th degree and the 1 to 36, yeah, I feel it because I don't know who I am. I doubt me. Right? Like the God would say, I'm driving, so people inherently afraid, because you're not, I got to get used to how to maneuver. Right. So I have to continue to keep, the practice of who I am. See, because when you know the elevation, when I know who I am, because some people, because if you teach unequivocally, I get this quite often, and I'm sure after God finished airing this, I'm here like a blasphemy. Oh, how because I'm saying unequivocally, I'm the Lord thy God.
That's right.
But it's raining, it's snowing, and the sun is coming out as a direct result of the knowledge of myself. So we prove not a problem. Because when you know who you are, right, then you know everything around you.
Right.
Right. So, having said that, meaning this here, someone asked me, I get it, Jesus, made it rain. Okay, I got you. You get theatrical spiritually with me with that until I ask you about, do you understand where you live, the dynamics of where you live, how fast this planet travels, why this water can get out of the Earth's atmosphere, which how people rotating around the sun, why it gets cold. Do you understand the science of where you are? And do you understand your relationship to that? No, we're not doing this, click, and then it's, no, that's never happened. You're being taught that. And again, we're not here to disparage people, again, but this is, in this vehicle, history best serves that we've always been teachers about who we are, the knowing of self, right? And how that applies. I'm speaking from it from a bigger and greater spectrum, right? God does too. 'Cause I be watching some of his work, right? But then we also need to speak to behavior. Because with knowledge, right, is the units of thoughts that controls your behavior, right? In fact, thought is the father and mother of the deed, right? So let me, how you do? What do you know? You got to do, you know, on this, on that, on crip, on blood, on that. I'm not. All right. Well, let me help you understand this dynamic here. I'm not here to make you a 5%er.
That's right.
But here's what I am going to do. One thing I know this on this universal flag, right? There's black, brown, and yellow. You my brother. I'm not gonna let you leave my presence without imparting some knowledge on you. And then that's where that goes, right? And again, I'm not, you know, like I tell some people. I had brothers in the bullpen. Peace to the God, peace, man. Yeah, God, I'm getting tired of this. I said, well, you know your lessons. You know where to go. God said, man, if you want to master something, leave it alone. But then you have to go. I had to do it. I mean, I'm not here testifying, but yeah, that's real. I had to come to grips with, if a civil I come to perform the duty, what must be done? Oh, so you the servant that knew the will, and you performed not the duty after we told you, but you knew the meaning, and then you refused to do the duty? Oh, see, the dude that don't know, Jacob, I get Jacob. So we'll help him. But you, oh, we got you. Come over here for a minute. Yeah, you go, do you filthy? Yes. Because you knew that, and you have the power to make that right, and you decided to do this. Woo! Yeah, I felt that. And my brother was telling me that. Same thing, he's teaching in his school. You know, I had to learn that. So I said, let me go back to this map. You know, 120. Because that's what 120 is a map too. I call it. I'm not saying you have to say that. I mean, it's good for you to know, yes, impeccably, because I'm telling you to retain. But that don't, because I did think that at first. I think a lot of us did when we were younger. But once I closed all this, put all that on brain, woo! You could, man, I'm good. I'm good. After I called that last degree, you put a 3% in me and mom, woo, yeah, man, I'm one because you're happy. Because that's a lot of information to put on brain. Especially this degree, wow, Muhammad makes it up to 34. Woo, I don't even want to quote that one. That's still, that's just here. That's just the answer to the question. Then you got the answer.
You got the answer.
And then, but before that, you had the 4th degree. That's just a dress rehearsal for the 8th degree and the 28th. On your next lesson. But now, this is important to know because only because you reference. Like I'm sure the God does in you know, like I may not give you, I'm gonna speak the language best understood by the people, because a lot of people may not understand where I'm coming from. So let me show you what I mean by born. Or let me show you what I mean by this degree and how it applies. You know, again, we're not forcing nothing on you. Some people may come from Christian backgrounds. You know, Muslim spiritual background. Oh, you teaching that hate, you hate God. No, I hate God, but love you. Listen, all right. I had somebody tell me that too. Their children, I was in Yonkers in this building. I was living in this building, 6 Main Street. They got a basketball court upstairs, so a lot of children want to go up there. So unruly, only because it wasn't hurting nobody, screaming, hollering, whatever. That's okay. We just direct their energy. You know, that basketball seemed going up there. So, but it went from basketball to 1 or 2 of them saying, oh, peace, man, what do you teach? Or what's that? Whatever. So they go home to their mother. Yeah, man. Yeah, mother. Yeah, black man's God. Oh, blasphemy. The Jew said, my mother screamed at me, whatever. So she asked me later on, like, you know, she came to the, I thought the lady was visiting someone in my apartment. So she said, yeah, this lady wants to see you. You in apartment 511? Yeah. I said, yes, man, how you doing? Can I help you? Because I was going to say, yeah, you teaching my children? I was still going to the top. Oh, okay. What's the matter? Oh no, you teaching them that Jesus didn't. I said, no, okay. So Christian? Yeah, okay, all right. Peace to you. That's where you want to keep your head. That's good for you. But took him from the street. Here's what happened. So you understand the dynamic, right? Because he was unruly, running around. So we had a place for him to go. He wanted to know. In fact, and I'll keep it real with you. In part because knowledge. I got this from Arlene. Knowledge was good on black people, right? So. Yes, I told him that the black man is God. That's not right. Okay, no problem. How so? Oh, listen, man. How so? How is that not right? How is he God? How is he not? Right? The Bible said, peace to the Bible. And what verse are you quoting from, though? Like, I mean, no disrespect, because you getting theatrical now. You know, peace to you. I mean, is that you want to go to church Sunday night? You're talking about in general. If you want to go to church with your child. Peace to you. I said, question though. Did you like reading? Yeah, that's what's important here. It's actual fact with us and no fact at all. See, my question is, who were we prior to the coming of Christianity? And how was it introduced to us? Because to us, it was introduced violently. It was never introduced. It was introduced this way. I always do this one. The three ends. You always came mercenary, missionary, and military. You always came with, once you docked your boat, say in front of Newark, New Jersey, right? How you doing? I see you and Jacob and the Queen and you. Where you from? We from way over here in York land somewhere. We just come over here. Did you know that God is love? Did you? Yeah, I see y'all doing this. That's heathen. Don't do that. Jesus don't do that. Right? Then you took a story of a black man who actually walked, killed him, actually, took him out the picture, then created and fabricated a whole theme park and story. Yeah. Anyway, so this kind of explains what makes. Actually, I complimented the sister too, because I actually went on to say that, or our people, what makes that, how do you put it, pleasing to people is because of who we are and what the conduit and the vessels, because our swagger, the way we walk, the way we talk, yeah, who we are as a people. You know what I mean? We were the vessel. Droves of people came to this religion as a result. There was a time, even during the course of slavery, you didn't even want us in your churches. And we had to create our own. Richard Allen, African Methodist Episcopal, and all them, right? And he introduced the Afrocentric perspective, you know, that all our images will be black. Which they were anyway, because we're the fathers and mothers of civilization. Right? It's just that unfortunately that knowledge was taken from you. See, when you don't know that, then I'm dancing to the beat of someone else's drum. Right? God is the black man. Listen to this one, Jacob. More importantly, God is Jacob. Right, God Jacob. That's who I am. Right. You know what I mean? I took on the name God Jacob. Right. That's who you are. Right? This is not to disrespect. It's to speak to who you are, you know, in terms of the knowledge of yourself. So, having said that, so peace to the Newark Street Academy. Hey, yeah, call him. Peace. Come here, Truth.
True light. Peace, come here.
Yeah. You want to run around. You want to grab rooms or something. All right. Peace, man. Peace. How old are you? Born is what number?
49.
Okay, right. Well, what's the day in mathematics? Okay. Can you tell me something about born? What is born?
What is it? Is the regeneration of wisdom.
Is what?
The regeneration of wisdom.
It's the regeneration of wisdom. Can you explain that?
So,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I-
Yeah. Here you go. You get back in there. Let's explain that one. Yeah, it's the regeneration of wisdom.
Yeah,
See?
somebody told me that.
Okay, he heard that. Okay, no question, but that's okay. He very well. You listen to this one here. Come here, Lord Justice. All right, go ahead. Listen to you, True Light. Come on.
so basically the generation of wisdom is the babies that are coming here to learn knowledge from the wisdom that are older, and they basically like learning the knowledge that we peace here, and the more we build is the more people gonna come and we're gonna get to have a long way of knowledge.
So when you get to the regeneration of wisdom is born. So the children are being taught, correct?
Yeah.
Once they're taught this knowledge, then what?
They're gonna come here and they're gonna make a new and a better of one of us. Okay. Anybody want to help him with that? Or
You know your times tables? Yeah, you know all of them? How about the 9? You know the 9? You know,
9
you know
times 1, 9
times?
times 3. Yeah, you know that? Okay,
You
go
know,
ahead.
you know what the highest number is? You know what the highest number is?
One.
1?
One of those.
Huh?
The one-time tables?
No. Do you know what the highest number is?
And one.
The highest number.
Period.
Highest number is 9. Any number outside of 9 is just a combination of numbers. Right. If you got a cell phone, there ain't no number past 9. If you look in your keyboard, it goes from 1 to 9 and you add a 0. Or you add a cycle. If you times, let me tell you something about the number 9. If you times 9 by any number, it's always going to come back to 9. What's 9 times 2? And 1 to 8 is what? What's 9 times 3?
56.
No.
9 times 3 is 27. And 2 and 7 is what?
2 and 7?
2 plus 7.
9.
You can never get outside of that 9. You got 9 planets that rotate and revolve around the sun. It takes 9 months to bring life into existence. It takes 9 months for a baby to come. So 9 is the highest number. That's the number of completion. All right? Oh man, what's your name?
True.
Troy?
True, no.
True.
True what? No,
True God Allah.
There you go.
My name is God Elevation.
What do you say?
Peace.
There you go.
Squeeze my hand like a young man.
Yeah. But the last thing before I let you go, where'd you get that definition from?
What?
It's born is the regeneration of wisdom. Where'd you get that? Or where'd you hear that?
I didn't hear from no one. It's just,
You made that up?
no, I didn't make it up.
Okay.
It's like, when you come here and you learn, it's like, the woman is like getting the babies to know how to grow up to be the baby. So that's why it's called the generation of wisdom. Because the generation of the babies and the wisdom, the generation with the babies and the wisdom add together, and that makes man.
No, we ain't you. We with you. We with you. Tweak, okay. That's called exercising. You exercising, okay. But listen to me.
How old are you?
I'm born.
Born.
He's born. Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. You gonna get it right. Peace to you. Come here. That's right. Oh, yes, there you go. Okay.
They squeeze your hand, don't it? Yeah. I might get him to teach my class.
Yeah. We gonna bring him. When we go, in fact, thank you for that, Elevation. When we make a move, because Elevation, that's his name, Supreme Elevation. He facilitates a school and academy closely associated like this one. When we make a move, then we're gonna bring you with us. That's all I'm saying, all right? We got you. So you can see what it is, what we teach here and abroad, and how it's taught, okay? All right, you gonna stay for the next 3 hours, or you gonna go? No. Yeah.
No, right. Okay.
Yeah, my man, True Light. Yeah. He shot Quest. Yeah, and Peace of God, teaching the babies that be coming through. You know. Yeah, but yeah, God. Yeah, man. But yeah, a great accomplishment, man. Thank you, man. How long you been with just for the sake of
Academy?
Yeah.
We started in 2016.
2016.
Yeah,
Okay.
2016. We went up under
Yeah, you hit the God.
anti-violence
Mm-hmm.
initiative, public safety initiative. That's what we were able to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And the mayor, under the direction of the mayor, he
I'm
wanted
upside down.
to revive the
Oh, okay.
Street Academy element. The guards was already in the process of doing it, but he sat down with us and he said, I could do what Mayor Lindsay did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said,
Yeah.
I could do what Mayor Lindsay did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we're back to the brothers.
Mm.
The brothers weren't ready. The
Mm.
brothers wasn't ready. So he moved on with the idea. So he still pulled in God as the director, God Khalid. Khalid pulled me in as the novice self-instructor. So he decided to revive the Street Academy element. But this time he said it wouldn't be under the Urban League. It would be under himself. So therefore, we can teach what we need to teach in it. He said he wanted the teaching to be of Elijah and the Father. You know, so that's the way we teach it. And they say we don't teach them to be father-centered, we teach civilization. If they want to become father-centered, they'll choose them on their own.
Right.
Two of them have already chose.
Yeah, I see that already. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Brother Nas, the young brother Nas supposed to come. He's working. He's in the HVAC and electrical. He's been to the show and prove. He's been to the parliament. He's going through his running 14. Yeah, but we've been in existence for almost 10 years now, and this is our very first year that we actually had a summer break. Yeah, after almost 10 years, we finally get a summer break. Because the work is that intense. When we started the Street Academy, there was over 4,000 youth that was in the streets that was disengaged. Now there's over 8,000. So it's an uphill battle.
Okay, right.
It's an
And I know Newark's a troubled area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and we have our knowledge of self library. Right now we're at 55 Ludlow Street. Right now it's the Temple of Hip Hop. KRS-One, he has leased the building.
Okay.
You know, we still in there. We cohabit. The universal flag is in there. Like I said, we have our it's ages 16 to 24. That was an age when we first started. Jaquise would say, hey, it's supposed to be 13 to 21. I said, I know. Only truth in Newark, the demographics changed a little bit.
Okay.
It's ages 16 to 24 that's really tearing stuff up. And that's our main target. We have to get them knowledge of self. They have to know who they are in order to, operate. Behavioral science. Age is a number. Maturity is a characteristic. Behavior is a skill set. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
And that's definitely a skill set. And we're asked a lot of questions. Because you said we get a lot of people Muslim, Christian, so we get a lot of questions. What happens to you when you die? What are spirits? Do you believe in mermaids? What about UFOs? Do you believe in aliens? So we get all those questions, and you can't just say,
witches and voodoo.
Witches and voodoo. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you can hear from me all day, but I would like you to speak on the Street Academy. You can hear it right from one of the graduates.
Yeah.
So, at Newark Street Academy, we have 3 core values: knowledge of self, self-directing leadership, innovation and entrepreneurship. Knowledge of self, as we were just talking right now, it's understanding yourself and knowing your history. But not only that, but also understanding like the history around yourself as well. Like with elevation, I would have never known about Black Wall Street because they don't teach you that in class, especially now when they're trying to hide our history and our achievements. Like when I was growing up, like I will admit I was in a very neighborhood that was very like trying to keep me like in the rank of the system that is put in place of us blacks. I was Asiatic. So I thought, I ain't gonna be much, but when I got to Newark Street Academy, they taught me that I could be more than what I am. Like I have so much achievement. Like we often think that Asiatic black men started with just slavery. Nah, we started before that, before even the Egyptians. Like we have so much, we achieved so much. It's just now it's just hiding from us. But now that we now awakening and we now find out our history, we now about to take back what we were doing. Now, self-directing leadership. We have an NSA staff teacher named Uncle Mook or Brother Mook. So he teaches us about how like the CIA put us in specific areas to try to keep our things called epigenetics. That mostly like manipulates our DNA to act in a certain way, like in a certain environment. Like for example, you got black people in suburbs that act polite, act polite, and can be very progressive. While you got ones in the hood who would be very destructive.
Doctors in the building.
Okay. Come on, Doc, you sit right here.
That would be very destructive. They try to keep their fellow Asiatics in the same place with them. They don't want them not to get away. So MOOCs tell us that sometimes it's based on also trauma too. I believe it was ACEs. I gotta ask him
Okay.
all the time.
You're doing a good job. Keep going, bro.
But yeah, so Uncle Mook really does teach us a lot about how we could really regulate ourselves and try to be better. Now, innovation entrepreneurship. We have another NSA staff named Brian Stokes, or Brian we like to call him. He teaches us how we can start our own businesses, how we can start taking and controlling our own money and also trying to just be like progressive with ourselves. So he teaches us how to make shirts, how to set up an LLC, how to, what else do you also teach us, Brian? Brian
Business
also,
cards, shirt designs.
right, yeah, shirt designs. Something like that. Brian
Okay.
You got Miss J.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Miss J and Miss J, she's basically I would say she's like the mother goose. She basically gives us lessons and just teaches us how to be more, just like with Mook, she tells us how to regulate. Miss J basically like she told us so many stories like Netflix show about peace, like how much talent we can achieve. She also teaches us how we can leading with love as well. That's one of our other phrases that we have in Newark Street Academy. So now Minnie is basically I would say he's like the pack leader. He's basically the black wolf. He basically is the strict, but he's gonna be very like laying down the foundation. Minnie, like I have seen Minnie basically just put his foot down, but he can be very lenient sometimes. That's basically
about the knowledge of self trips.
Oh, the knowledge of self trip. We went to the Washington Black History Museum.
The Black Wax Museum.
Yes, that in Baltimore. You're asking me to go through a whole lot of trips.
No, you have to go through all. Just give him a little taste. Just give him a little.
Like in the Wax Museum,
doing-
it was amazing just seeing it. Like seeing the first black Eskimo. I would never thought we could do that. And then also we saw Nelson Mandela, Waxman. We also saw the great ship of Jesus. How they
Good ship Jesus. Yeah. So we go through all that in class.
Okay.
We also saw how they did the cruelty, the lynching, and all that stuff in the bottom floor.
Periods of slavery. Okay.
And then in the Washington Museum, we saw a whole lot of inspiration, like Funkadelic. buying the Soul Train book for my mother. We also saw like.
That's what you're excellent, which shows me going back to the root of what we do, your retaining of the information. I commend what they do, definitely, but a lot is what have you learned? So you put the ball in your court, and I'm taught. I'm like, wow, right? You know, from your perspective. So great work, and thank you for that. Thank you. And those are elements that are universally compromised, even here. Although specifically so, this is what we do there, right? This is how we approach the knowledge of self. And in knowing who you are, right, those are elements that are needed to take you there. You know, like my favorite line is, you can't be strong in your house and weak in someone else's. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I can't go to the brother house talking about, or anyone for that matter, talking about, yeah, the black man is God. Now, come on, man, have a good day. I mean, you know, that's a whole, I got a story with that one when I was young. But I wanted to go to make an introduction to the young man here. Your name is?
Mez.
Huh?
Mez.
Mez?
Mez. M-E-Z.
And Maz.
Mez.
Don't mess with him.
Maz. Yeah. And your occupation is?
I work in spine surgery.
You work in spine surgery?
Right.
Okay. So you...
So I'm a physician assistant, a first assistant surgery. I work with, basically do everything you see a normal physician do. He just signs off on my chart.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Great. I just wanted to... I met you at the show and pool. It was an honor.
Right.
And it continues to be that. Wanted to introduce that because I know you influence and are a participant of our nation, right? A citizen, and that's great because again, Almighty God, Allah taught man, you know, to teach, to grow, right? You know, that definitely school was the premise, which is what a lot of what you do and what we are doing in different capacities. But in that one, a very great level also, because I'm literally just operating on the person. And if I'm able to do that, that means that I've mastered a skill set, right? In an area that at one point, because you passed down a legacy historically as a black man, you know, Charles Drew and the blood plasma and all these other people, black men and women, who went on to create. In fact, if it wasn't for them, a lot of these doors in all human families wouldn't have been open in this particular area. Yes, sir.
By the way, I actually, very early on in the stages of my training, I actually went to Charles Drew University in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Central Los Angeles. That's how I actually formalized a plan to follow the actual
Footsteps.
footsteps.
Right.
So,
Wow. And help me out because there's two. He with the heart or the blood plasma.
he's a blood plasma.
The blood plasma, right. There was one with the heart too. I forgot who that was, but there's the blood plasma. Right. And yeah. So and the blueprint of the blood transfusions and all that comes from him. But yeah. So it's an honor.
It's all mine to be here.
Yeah, okay. Thank you too. Yes. You know, we're not without those accolades as well, but it's definitely good to see that because, real quick, as you know, our root is 1964, it's the year one.
Right.
Even though the knowledge itself, this is a continuation of the knowledge itself. Almighty God just came and gave us the knowledge in the particular manner that He wanted to give it to us in. One of those, again, because it touches bases back with what the God's doing, you know, going back to what Almighty God taught. Almighty God taught us, man, we're not here to hate the white man. Yeah, the black man's God, yeah, he's the devil, but He even told Sham God, listen, man, look, to eradicate devil, you would have to eradicate almost everybody. Because I mean, you know, like but because they were bitten as well. So when we're not anti him, I'm not telling you, be pro your people, but not pro to the point I got horse blinders.
Right.
I don't see things peripherally. Like, you know, like, okay, bet. Because you got some people, man, I may have to jump. In fact, Allah did. So when I first white 5%ers was actually Lindsay. Yeah. Lindsay actually went into the halls of government and was empowering them with, like, listen, man, this is who they are. Because when the 5% start picking up momentum in the street, and people, who are they? You know what I mean? Are they a group that we need to target? You know what I mean? Lindsay went in there. In fact, this is where the trips and all the other stuff was going. That's start seeing the relationship with Allah. Allah's whole idea was, man, even protect where you live. I gave you the knowledge. I didn't give you the knowledge in Ghana and Zimbabwe. I gave you the knowledge right here on the corner of 26th and 27th Street. Right. So, you know, and so you protect the knowledge itself, in essence, is to not only better you, but you better the world around you. Right. You better St. Nick. Yeah. Okay. These for me? Yeah. Okay, Pete. Yeah. This is what they're doing over there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right, God. That's right.
Oh, peace.
I just wanted to see you. You were disrupting your class.
Yeah, no, that's okay. It's okay.
Peace, how you feeling?
We in it.
Okay, good to see you.
Yeah, Pete.
You gotta break out.
All right, God. Pete.
All right,
Yeah, a lot going on. And definitely the premise was school. In fact, when Urban League Street Academy, the Urban League, right? Even the law school, the Urban League Street Academy, right? And then he put the flag there. Then we called it the law school. Actually, how we was calling it, the academy. So we was calling this. We going to the academy, you know, back in the day. It was a link to Harlem Prep, which, you come here, you call purpose, you come here to school. All this hanging out, I wasn't with Dad, he wasn't here. Learning. Then why were you here? Because your duty's supposed to be out there since you got it. God didn't teach them. But moreover, to increase your knowledge. Because we're not going to do that. We're not, I ain't going to the white man's school. You're going to go to school. You're going to do something. You're here. You're going to learn. One of the greater jewels I learned with this was, and a lot of us, for that matter, yourself included, was I can walk back into these halls of these schools of learning and not be, the pens be stuck in my head. Because, in your navigation of obtaining this knowledge, you're given this traditional, well, Christopher Columbus, he sailed the 7 seas and he did X, Y, Z, so-and-so did whatever, or I'm giving you accomplishments of Europeans. All right, that's cool, whatever. But not knowing that you, the father and mother of civilization, you were the one who patterned, like Charles Drew, right? Like, I didn't know nothing about him until like 80. Right, as much as knowledge, but increasing my knowledge and start learning how black people, even in, for lack of a better term, even when we're here, our involuntary journey here, and then coming out of, right? Because a lot of these people we're talking, man, maybe 70, 80 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, the turn of the century, 1914 and 1929, these people started accomplishing these great feats. Madam C.J. Walker and all them, Lewis Latimer and all these, books like Blacks in Science by Ivan Van Sertima, Black People Invented Everything, the things that speaks to who we are, because it's important, because that portion of that was, which highlights, and thank you again, because, Charles, you did that? Man, let me let me follow, and there were places where I can go to increase and learn, and here I am, God, He showed me, the procedure, you in the operating room or whatever. Wait, yes, we need to be in there. Yeah, we got brothers that doctors. When he came to us, man, Black Messiah was 16. Prince was 18. God Supream and them, who was taught by Prince and them, was 12. And, we're talking about 14 and 13 years old. These were young men who went on to teach men who themselves go on to, the Street Academy, under the tutelage and knowledge and wisdom of these brothers, yourself included. You know what I mean? I'll get to that in a minute. How you got to the knowledge, but you're here, and right, the premise of the 5%. Someone asked you that, yeah, education, but one that will enable us to be self-sufficient. Not just I got education, and first I know who I am. That's the first education. Then second, here are my skill sets and the performance of that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm the God Elevation, but I facilitate men and women and guide them. Look, he's a perfect example. God Jacob, thank you for that. A perfect example of this influence, and yourself included. These influences, and again, and when I speak of influences, I'd be remiss not to say this is what Allah meant by not being pro-black. You got other vessels that were teaching the Moors, peace to them. Noble Jew Ali, Marcus Garvey, what's his name? My man here, I always quote him, Frederick Douglass. You know, how you gonna want freedom without agitation? To want that is like wanting the harvest of the land without doing the work. You want to seize without the mighty. Power can seize nothing without the man. It never did and never will. I want to be going back to today's mathematics. I want to be a photographer. Okay, not going to be an easy feat. It look easy. Yeah, it's nice, but you got to know what you're doing. So, but you have to put discipline. There's some sacrifice you're going to have to take. You know what I mean? I want to go out, not today. You want to do that? Right. Especially his job. No, wait, what? Just unheard party? You serious? You know, exams we got here? You talking about knowledge itself. Not only do you need to impeccably, I'm not even a doctor in that respect. Right? Yeah, in that respect. Yeah. You need to know that. But you need to know this also. See, one thing I give the retaining of knowledge of 120, it didn't do nothing else. It taught me discipline and study, focus. Because you had to do that. Especially in the time in which we come out. I'll make the connection. Because if I saw elevation, okay, listen, man, knowledge means to know. Okay? Knowledge. Got it? Yeah, okay. Tomorrow, I need you to know how to spell that and know what that is. Like when I see you, there's no other mother stutter. I don't care nothing about your mom and them. You got to go to the store. What is you doing tomorrow? I need to know, okay, bet. All right. That's your homework. Then when you saw me, it was like, the term you used, it was tough. Like you said, you used a particular teacher or instructor, but stern only. I got this from Born Savior, let me say that first. And Born Savior out of Pelon, and Sincere, who passed away, Firstborn Sincere. Born Savior said, one of the reasons why we need to teach knowledge sometimes cold. Let me ask you this question. Why do you put meat in the freezer?
To preserve it.
Yes! Beautiful, Jacob. Because right. And that's why I gave it to you stern. So that truth will be preserved in your brain. I love that jewel. I'm a jewel thief. So you say something, I'm going to take it. Oh, you said that. Take that. Yeah, that's who I am. Literally I am. When you said that? Yeah, okay, all of them, yeah, but again, I'm not going to plagiarize. I'll attach your name to it. So people know, because that's important too. That's what I told me and Born Savior. I let Born Savior know, I know, but and Sincere, the same thing. And one of the reasons why I say that also is because, again, the study and the importance of study. That's where I'm going with that. And everything that you do, that's what 120 taught me. And reading that. And it went on to you moving on. I went to college and I went to, we're not playing. I need my term paper tomorrow. I care nothing about your dog. I don't care nothing about that. Excuse me, sir. You want to be a physician? Yeah. Okay. That's where we at. No, I'm not insensitive. But I'm not. No, we're not doing that because your patient's not going to say that.
Right. That's right.
Right? Or whatever you're doing. Give me a break. No breaks here. no breaks here. You better, after we finish, go take you a nap or something, and then come back to this class here. Right. Like, you got pictures of him in there, like, that came from stuff. There was no partying. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was no fun here. Fun these books. Yeah, fun that. Yeah, fun this learning. Then after the smoke is clear, then you can do that. Right. I'm not saying you can't, depending on what you're doing. Yeah, Gordon Parks. Familiar with him?
Yes.
Yeah, he wrote a book called The Choice of Weapons. That was good. Right, his was that, the camera. Bad dude. So he, but even in that, you focus. The learning is focused. So it's an honor, and I continue to say that because of those levels of learning. Not learning, but level, my occupation. You know what I mean? I'm a doctor, I'm a physician. You know what I mean? You know, I went to go see my PCP, that's my primary care, and his name is Shah too. So he had this other guy came in. I didn't. He said, I like the way he dropped it on me. So you should be. Let me give you some of this knowledge. I said, excuse me. I said, as a patient, I got arrogant because I want to see the doctor. But he does almost everything a doctor will do. Right. I'm gonna prescribe some medication to you if need be. You could talk to me. I could diagnose whatever. What's going on, Mr. Jones? Whatever. Hey, you're not shy though. No, I'm not. What are you? What? Yeah, I did this. What's your? I'm a physician's assistant. Lowly. I don't want to see the doctor. Yeah. I did that. He's like, okay. He said, this is what he told me. He humbled me real quick. So my schooling and learning was nothing to you? He said, my help? You don't want my help? He said, word, this is what he hit me with. So if I leave the room, you're going to wait in there for Shah to come help you? And you need help now? I was like, oh shit. I said, man, we get you a universal flag. Yeah. We get you one of these. You talking like one of us, man. I said, yeah. I said, woke me up. I said, yo, man, my apologies. Humbly, please humbly accept that. Right. I said, damn it, man. Guess you told me. So what we need to do here? And he's correct, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially coming from your perspective, you're the patient. You're looking for assistance. You're looking for help. Same in all these doors. When they come through here, or they come through the academy, right? These are our the people who we serve. In this case, I use that term. I won't use clients or participants or patients, but the people whom we serve. Yeah. You know what I mean? They come in like, hey, listen, man, look, students, potential. And sometimes now people will come to you. I didn't come here to be a fiber center, but one thing I did come to do, I came because I understand that your knowledge base, you're the footsteps of the master, so let me get it from you, right? So, having said all that, what brought you to the knowledge yourself?
I started becoming, I guess, acquainted with the knowledge at a very turbulent time in my life.
Okay.
That was actually in my teenage years.
Okay.
We had just moved to California from Texas. This is like in the late 80s. So if you know anything about what was going on out there.
Okay, absolutely. We're talking California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely a culture shock, dealing with that. But I was always, I made my informal introduction through hip hop, just listening to different terminology. And just certain things just kind of caught my ear. I was trying to figure out what is this, like, what are you talking about? When I got to high school, it kind of grew a little bit more because you had more, the guys were actually more prominent in the forefront.
Right.
You started seeing.
You get it firsthand.
Yeah,
right.
But again, the culture I'm surrounded by is not godly. We're dealing with Bloods, Crips, essays, everything.
Right. That culture.
That culture.
Yeah, right.
That's very dominant over there.
Yeah, it is.
It's like.
But where were you in California?
I started on the east side on 92nd and Hooper, and in Inglewood.
Okay.
I went to high school over in Watts, right by everybody does that when I say that. Right there by the Nickerson Garden Housing Project, which is the largest housing project west of the Mississippi. So I seen a lot of stuff going on over there. I knew I had to understand that this isn't for me. I had to do something else. The images that the guys projected was positive, it was strong, intelligent, it wasn't weak, and everybody respected that. They respected that. Even though they're in the midst of doing what they're doing, they respected the intelligence. I said,
yeah, okay, that's it.
yeah. And so, as I got on through high school, started getting, a little bit more information when I got to college, one of the brothers gave me a book called Stolen Legacy.
Oh, George and James.
Stolen Legacy. So that actually planted the deeper seed. And so I started reading these books and started listening a little bit more, and everything was kind of coinciding. I actually had a few people come and give me, lessons, but I didn't really know who they were. But I took it and accepted it just kind of for what it was. 8 years ago, Thursday, was the exact day I came down here for the first time, and I met Master Najee. And I actually came here for the first time, and I just came down here because I was curious, because I wanted to see this place with my own physical eye, because I've seen it so many times in documentaries and videos and stuff like that, and I wanted to see it because I have been greatly influenced by the culture. To me, it's like when you speak of black excellence, you gotta talk about the guys. Those that actually live the principles, the ones that are standing upright. That's black excellence to me. And to me, it's like Carol was one says, knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everybody.
Yeah.
There's no truer statement.
Yeah.
Even some of my most knucklehead homeboys, they knew I was different, and they respected what I was doing. And they respected the fact that I wanted to go into medicine, the fact that I read, it wasn't corny to them.
Yeah.
And the fact that I could actually talk to them, and we could actually have conversations. We'd be in the street, and they'd be out there selling me weed or whatever, this and that. And we'd be out there building, just selling stuff, and it was like, it was a genuine interest. Some of them kind of took heed, maybe, affected in ways I didn't see it or whatever. But today, when they look at me, it's like, I'm the person that they tell their kids about.
Right.
I want my kids to be around you.
Right.
I want my kids to see what you do. So, I mean, I could go on for days, but the culture has had a profound effect on me, and it's still to this day, even though I'm still striving, it still has an effect. I'm learning more now. I've actually moved out here. I've connected with Supreme Elavatian. He's actually correcting me on different things, and so I can actually, actually see it in real time in the correct manner, because it's a big difference. Look from the outside looking in and seeing other people, because then you start realizing some people know the phrases. Some people know how to say this, and some people know how to say that, but do they connect the dots? Do they actually, walk it like you talk it, the living mathematics? So that's why I say it's an honor to be here, because I've watched many videos in this classroom. For me to be sitting here today, from all the way from California, the city of Los Angeles, it's a big deal.
That's a degree Prince gave me with that one too. Islam at 90 degrees, I believe it was. Yeah. I'm talking about Los Angeles. That's kidding mind. Yeah. Thank you for that. What brought you to becoming in your field?
Your actual brain surgeon.
I trained in neurosurgery. I'm currently working in orthopedic practice, and we do spine. So I do a lot of spine. So you guys, I have pictures of me.
Yeah.
That's over there.
Yeah.
I got you.
Right.
Hey, Elevation, you gotta send that to me though.
Got you.
Please.
So what happened?
Before you go, would you? No, I wouldn't do that. But would you? I would like to highlight that. But I cross that bridge. But go ahead, go get it. Speak.
So when I was about knowledge equality, knowledge of God around that age. I was getting ready to transition out of high school, and my father was like, what do you want to do after you finish school? I didn't think about it. I just said, I want to be a doctor.
Mm.
And my father looked at me like, because for you to go, I have to back up a little bit. Prior to me going into high school and things like that, when we lived in Texas, I went to private school, predominantly white schools, because my mother felt like that was the best way I can get education.
Okay.
But you know, when you allow other people to educate your children, you gotta be diligent and make sure they're getting true education, not getting indoctrination.
Mm.
So it's very important,
Yeah.
because you can go to school and get all kind of degrees and still not know anything.
Hello.
Damn.
Peace.
Thank you for that one. Thank you for that. Yes,
I
yes.
see, and I see
Yeah,
that
yeah,
every
yes.
day. I
Yeah,
see
yes.
that every day.
Yeah, that was well said. Well, mhm.
What happened was, when I was young, because I really wasn't what they call a good student. I was smart enough to pass tests and do things, but I just wasn't like, well behaved, I guess. I don't know. So they wanted to say that I had ADHD.
Mm.
And if somebody told that to my father was like, well, guess what? He's not going to have that tomorrow. So he applied that positive energy to my ass and created elevation.
Okay.
And, he got me through
like
school. And
Right. Okay, yeah.
so by the time I got to high school, he was like, because when you start becoming aware of things, you start seeing the discrepancy in the stuff that you're taught.
Mm, yes.
And when you're young, you may not know how to ask or challenge it appropriately. So your response is going to be to rebel.
Right, okay.
So I rebelled a lot. And so my father, by the time I got through high school, was like, look, man, I got you through high school. If you're going to go and you're going to be in a physician, you want to be in medical school, you got to understand what type of commitment that takes.
Mm.
And I haven't seen you commit to anything that seriously yet.
Yeah, that's like crazy commitment.
That's crazy
Commitment, yeah.
So my first pediatrician when I was a kid was a childhood friend of my father's, and he watched him go through med school. He started telling me, his name is Dr. Colbert.
Your father watched him?
Yeah, he
Okay,
watched
okay,
him.
okay. Mm.
And he was like, Bobby Colbert, he would tell me these stories about Bobby Colbert. He's like, this guy would study. I guess they used to work at the Pancake House. He would be studying at the Pancake House while working this and that. I've never seen you study unless you had to study. Like, I mean, he was on me. But he was like, listen, if you're going to do this, I'm going to be with you. And I'm going to help you. Unfortunately, he was right. I did not understand what kind of commitment it would take. So my first attempt to do this was very challenging. I did not succeed. So I actually got away from the discipline and everything that made me successful during high school. I got away from that. And so I ended up leaving school for a little bit and then going to a community college. Because my father's like, listen, you gotta get your head right because you're not in the right mind space to really do what you're saying you're doing. So he's like, tell you what, get you a job, you start paying for school, this and that. So I started paying for school, started doing things. In the meantime, I actually got a job. I was working with kids. I was a counselor for several years. I worked with at-risk youth for several years. Working with them was probably one of the best jobs I had because I could see myself in a lot of them. And it made me want to go back and correct a lot of stuff within myself. And, it took me some time. And I started getting my mind right, started doing things. I actually was getting ready to, at one point, to just kind of leave it alone because years that went by and it just seemed like I wasn't getting ready making that. I wasn't making any ingrounds. And I actually was getting ready to leave, but then I talked to my guidance counselor at school and I seen they had this program, the one I wanted to go to. And I went in there and I told him, I was like, listen, I see you guys are getting ready to start this program. I know what it is because I went to Charles Drew years ago and I knew what it was. I was at the School of Allied Health right across from what they call Killer King, Martin Luther King Hospital. if you know LA, there's a very famous trauma center there. All the UCLA people come there to train. It's one of the best trauma centers there. It's right there in the middle of Wilmington, Compton, and Watts. So you got a lot of trauma happening in that area.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, so when I went to talk to the guidance counselor, he pulled up my record. He looked at my record. He looked at me like my father. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like you haven't been going to school. You've been working this and that. So I said, you know what? I know that I can do this. All I gotta do is just apply myself.
Okay.
So I started going to school. My grades started magically just start reversing. I started getting A's, B's. I carried a B+ average or whatever. And he looked at me. He's like, okay, I see that you're serious about this. So I finally finished all my prerequisites for the school. In 2006, right before I was getting ready to apply, my mother had a very bad stroke. But before she had that stroke, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a week or two before she had the stroke, we had our last conversation. And she looked at me, she said, I'm very proud of you. I see the change in you. Promise me that you will finish and continue doing what you're doing. You know, I was like, yeah, you know, no problem. I didn't know this would be the last full conversation we had.
Right, this is like her last, like, you know.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
She was healthy. She was healthy.
Right,
before that.
You didn't catch none of that. Right, I got you.
So, 2 weeks later, I get a call. Yeah, my mom had a stroke. They're taking her to the hospital. You know, she had a very bad hemorrhagic stroke. She had a huge brain bleed. I remember her last words like, "Don't let me die." You know. So we did everything. We made sure that she was treated right and everything like that. We brought her home. We eventually got her home. I had to leave school to take care of her for 2 years. Now, initially, when I started wanting to go to school, and this all ties in, I thought I was going to be going to cardiothoracic heart surgery. That was my goal.
No, the heart.
Yeah, the heart. But the universe, you know, it puts you where you're supposed to be.
Okay, got you.
Right. So I get accepted. I had to delay my my applying to the program for 1 year because I had to just kind of be at home to deal with that whole time. So when I finally did it, I got accepted. I finished the program, and it was a very challenging thing. Like you said, being disciplined. There was no partying. They literally told us, like, listen, you belong to us for the next 2 years. You have to be here when we tell you to be here, and you cannot leave until we tell you to leave. My friends, some of them went on to do other things. Some of them out there party would call me. Sometimes I'd be in the hospital working an overnight shift, having to sleep over. Out in Las Vegas partying and stuff like that. You know, I had to let all that go. You know, I had to basically sacrifice a lot. To anybody that goes into the medical field, you have to sacrifice a lot. It's a big commitment. It's not just the academics. It's like you have to sacrifice a lot because you have to give so much of yourself. Because when you finish, you're still gonna have to give so much of yourself to your patients. So it's constantly a position where you're constantly giving. You don't stop giving. If you don't value the fact that people are coming to you in their time of need, and you don't see that as a privilege, you need to stop and get out of the business right then. Okay? So if you come to me saying, "Hey, I'm having this situation, you know, I gotta stop what I'm doing." Sha, what do you got going on? Tell me. And I gotta give you the best that I have to offer. You know, so I may have to put whatever I have to put to the side so I can make sure you get that. Anyway, I finally finished in 2010. You know, we banged it out. You know, it wasn't pretty, but we banged it out. We finished out in 2010. So at that point, it was like I wanted to, I had to actually go take the board exam to become a board certified physician assistant. So matter of fact, next year I have to take my boards next year.
Okay.
So after I did that, I started working in pain management. I was like, well, I still want to do surgery. I got information from the schools like, well, Arrowhead in San Bernardino, the neurosurgery team, they have a fellowship for PAs. These were the doctors that actually treated my mom when she had her stroke.
Mm.
So I got to train with them.
Wow. You have an enlightening and interesting, I'm just cut you off.
No, it was
That this is journey.
yeah.
And thank you for coming and sharing that, man, and making knowledge born about that. I'm gonna stop. As you were saying.
A couple more hours, man. We ain't even get started yet.
Yeah.
We ain't even get started.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing, like I said, everything is like comes back around 360 degrees, comes back around. And I learned a lot, but I felt like if I wanted to take it to the next level, after 2 years I needed to leave. So they wanted to keep me there and wanted me to work out there. But I really wanted to be in the trenches in the OR doing stuff. And it's like because I was dealing with residents, I wasn't always the first person to be able to get into cases or anything like that. So I ended up coming out here in 2016. I started coming out here in 2014. I've interviewed in Brooklyn. I interviewed at Coney Island and a few places, but I ended up going upstate to Columbia Memorial out there in Hudson, New York.
Okay.
And I started working with an orthopedic surgeon. That practice ended up closing down. And then I went to Ithaca, New York, right there in Cornell. And that's when I started working with a neurosurgeon again. And that grind is real, because when you're in the neurosurgery practice, you're actually working with the service that determines the emergency room ranking of the hospital. So if you have a trauma 1 center, that means that you're getting all the gunshots, car accidents, all the everything that's coming in. And I did that when I worked down at Staten Island at Richmond University Medical Center. I was there for it. I actually ended up coming down here for the pandemic, during the pandemic.
Okay.
Because everybody was leaving. So, and I've been down here since 2020.
Okay. So you're here or Jersey?
I live in Jersey now.
Okay.
I just
But you work here.
So the place I work at now, we have an office in Manhattan. So I've been back and forth from Manhattan.
Is it private or is it?
It's a private
private.
practice.
Okay.
Private practice.
Okay.
And so like I said, we're orthopedic based. Our big thing is spine, but we do extremities as well. Like
Well, you back extremely upper or lower?
neck, mid, low
okay.
back, everything. So
Right.
the picture did you show them those pictures?
Yeah.
Those pictures that you see, the pictures that you see was actually that I was in surgery Tuesday, and we did a decompression. A lady had she's probably gonna need more surgery, but she had really bad stenosis, which means that she has pressure on the nerves coming off her spinal cord and her external nerve roots. So she had weakness and pain in her leg. So we went there, opened it up for her to take some of that pressure off.
Superman. Go ahead, bro. Superman, right? Yeah. God. Yeah, man. Yeah, great, man. Great.
What are some of the like the requirements, like to achieve what you've achieved, or like what are the requirements, like what is the like so if a child like true like wanted to become a neurosurgeon, what are the steps?
So I was just having this conversation with one of my medical assistants the other day, because she's actually in the process of taking an MCAT because she wants to go into the medical field. You really need to, because what my biggest thing is, I didn't really have a mentor. So I had to learn on trial and error, which takes a lot of time. Because when you go into the medical field, you're talking about, you start from the time you start primary school all the way to college, whatever, you're not finished till about your early to mid 30s in many cases. So you really need a person that actually can give you good advice on how to actually maneuver the system. Because the thing about school, I learned in school is a business, and this is where we start talking about the difference between education and indoctrination. So you can go to school, but their thing is like they're gonna get them student loans. They're not forgivable. You're gonna have to pay them back whether you finish or not. And like you can go out there and accumulate a lot of debt and still not get what you need.
Right.
So put that to the side. The other thing is that, like, I had to learn about commitment, because it's not a 9-to-5 job. I was actually here. I had to actually take care of a patient while I was on the train. had to take a call or whatever.
Well, you was
So-
at my house.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. It's like,
So you're on call 24/7.
yes.
Are you kind of like, on the phone, you kind of like navigating them through what
Right.
needs to be done?
What they need to do.
Yeah,
Now,
right.
There's been situations when I worked in Ithaca where I actually have to physically show up and come in. I've literally been taking a shower, been in bed, get
Yeah.
the call. Yeah, you need to come back and come see this patient. Put my clothes back on, go back to the hospital and see the patient. So it's a lifestyle. It's not a job. It is a lifestyle.
Yeah. Lake Street Academy.
So somebody can call you right now and say that
I
they're.
gotta,
You gotta go.
I gotta take that. I mean, fortunately, because I'm in a private practice, we don't really have emergent cases. We deal like the elective cases. I don't really have. Rarely will I ever have to go to a hospital unless
You perform the procedure
Yes,
because you're going there because of its. Yeah.
because it was emergency.
Right.
Situation. There's been a couple of times we've had those kind of situations, but in this setting, it's not so much. But
Because private practices, you don't go deal with all of that.
yeah, because these people will pretty much electric pay out of pocket. You know, they get these cases done, whatever, stuff like that.
Oh,
So
so you literally Imhotep. You know what he is?
yeah.
Yeah.
You like
Yeah.
Step pyramid.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
They're definitely good. We can touch on the sister's her sign of life.
Yeah.
Peace on Queen
Yeah.
Nisha. It's just a beautiful thing just sitting here listening to your journey. When I first came amongst, the nation, one of the first things that I learned was, what it is that we teach and what we plan to achieve, as a nation. And within one of those lessons, there's a portion that's called community control. And it basically focuses on the major areas that is going to contribute to the greatness of not just our nation, but the planet Earth as a whole. Within that, there's healthcare. I'm myself am in healthcare as well. I've been in the dental field for the past 23 years, so I'm able to come in and add that on. A lot of people don't even know how many times you're supposed to be, in a dentist. Some people never, they never go unless something is, hurting them or, bothering them. So, one of my duties and goals is to be able to take everything that I've been able to learn, the things that I've seen, and pass that on to anybody that I come in contact with. Like I said, you'll ask some people, does anybody know how many times we're supposed to be at the dentist here? Alex?
I've been there quite a few because I have a implant they're putting in a bridge. So I'll be there next Sunday.
People don't even know the basics, science of that. We should be seeing a dentist, twice a year. Why is that? It's not because, you're not necessarily brushing your teeth or doing what you're supposed to do at home. It's just certain things that we can't get to, physically. It just can't happen. Right. So this is why we have to go in, to see the dentist. You're not supposed to wait until something is hurting you, because now it means that it's, out of control. And people don't know that, and they don't realize how much our teeth are connected with everything else that's within our bodies. You can get you can get have a crazy abscess, and it reaches your heart, you out of here. That's it. When that could have been prevented. So a lot of the things, like I said, one of my main goals is to make sure that people first educate themselves and they know how important it is to take care of every part of our bodies. Pass that on so that it can get better. And back in the day, we didn't really have as much information as we have now. Like when I was coming up, we had silver fillings, people, because that was the best that they had there. Yeah. But as time goes by, we realize, and we see through experiment, we see it, every day, somebody breaks their tooth because that silver filling after a certain amount of time, it starts to shrink, and then we use that tooth prone to break down. So now a lot of people are either getting them replaced, being proactive about it so they don't run into those, type of situations, or, you have to wait till you get to that. And then now we go on to what is the next best thing that we've learned over the past 20 and 30 years, which is basically like a composite or a tooth-colored filling, something that is white. Besides the fact that the silver filling has the mercury and everything, and it, it's just that the foundation is screwed once you have it in there. But these are, little things that we will learn over time. As you,
my bad. My bad, I mean, that's myself all this time. We had all this knowledge. I'm like, yeah, peace queen, and today mathematics.
We came with an agenda.
Yeah.
We came with an agenda today. We said we're gonna come through the knowledge.
Yeah.
If we're allowed to speak, we're gonna speak out our signs of life.
Please, yes,
You know what I'm saying?
You know, but you know, it happens. You know, a lot of times because there's when people look from outside, they seem like a God-dominated, you know, nation and situation. But we, the Earth, we're here too, and we have jobs, we have our duties, and we recognize that. But we have to be the ones to put our voice out there. I can't necessarily expect, like, if you didn't, you know, say something, I was definitely going to inject myself because I came here for a reason. You know, I didn't just come here because we are all fly people, we talk good, we look good, and to hang, you know, to hang out is to actually be able to, you know, add on, and, you know, somebody somewhere is watching is going to be able to use and take something from everything that we all said here. And I just, you know, want to be able to add on as much as I can, let the Earth's voice be heard, because we're here, we've been here, and we ain't going nowhere. But we have to be the ones to put ourselves in those, you know, positions. And so that's why I continue to learn. I love your class. I love the fact that you dedicate your time and your energy to come here, whether it's one person here or if it's 12 of us. So those are things that actually keep me, you know, motivated, and what we need to do, you know, as a nation to keep on growing.
Okay, great. Just, you know, to add to that, the Earth supports all life. The best part of there's 9 planets, they're mathematics born, but of them, the Earth is the home of Islam. Right? Not every woman is the Earth, though. Right? But speaking for yourself and those with the proper knowledge themselves who reproduce this knowledge and replenish it, right? Which is what you're talking about. Like, oh, listen, you know, because this is a nation of gods and
Earth.
Right. So we and you independently work with us using your word, dear God. I was in class one day and I was, God helped me with that word. I was kind of you know, what you call it, interdependently, meaning you work in conjunction. Right. You can't have knowledge without wisdom. Right, vice versa. But right, and in that role and capacity, thank both of you, for that matter, and all of you. Matter of fact, all 4 of you, because that's important. Because this is the epitome of what Almighty God taught. Right. I like you said, I didn't have you get the knowledge so you can talk well. Right. I wanted you to do well in the area that you're in. You know what I mean? And then when you do that, you improve upon the area you are. One of those cases was when we facilitated and we led the march. That's one of the highlighted, you know, areas. You know what I mean? But in the interim of that, you know, again, school. You know, I need you to go to school. In fact, I remember I was 79, 80. You know, I was a problem child, even with knowledge. And so, Umar worked, one of our older statesmen who was around, passed away, great brother. He taught me, in fact, I think that was kind of like the catalyst to have me go work in the human service field also. But he taught me, first I came in and I said, you know, I was rough edges. Break the law, break that, you know, we in a place of business. I said, come here, man. Man, sit your backside down, man. He said, man, you know where you are? And then he started telling me about business etiquette. This ain't a parliament, you know what I mean? And then, you know, after, so when we get to a particular point, and he says, so when you go to this job, what time do you need to be there? He said 9 o'clock, because that's when it starts. He said, then you're late.
That's right.
I said, what? And he said, early is on time. On time is late. I fast forward, I learned that and I become a counselor. So I'm coming through the door, my client's sitting there.
Yeah.
Right. You can't tell him, just like the physician. Oh wait, doing this spine surgery. Let me get a coffee. No, ain't none of that. Big dive right into this. Right. Call me and right, you know, in your line of work as well too. I'm more than sure. Right. Yeah, so business etiquette, but learning those things and being the best 5% we can be in those particular areas. That's what he taught us to do. But great, it was you as well, God. I keep saying that, man. Watched old man. I watched some of these brothers come through here. You know, he said, "Oh, elevation. Oh no, yeah, I'm old." I watched them come through when they were young, right? Yeah, right. You know, and you know, and go on to and yourselves included. You know what I mean? Go on to matriculate into, you know, other areas in life that's important. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure, like his, this took study and time.
Yeah.
Right. This wasn't like, oh, you want to do this, right? Okay, no, you're not going into the spine, but make no mistake, you need to study, you need to focus. So there's that time always in dedication, like it was for you, young man, when you was giving me the bill, which lets me know I took time to listen. That's why I gave you a thorough dissertation about what I learned and what we're doing here. See, so now I'm informed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which means that the only way I can do that is if I'm listening. Right. I'm letting you know the address, where you at, the teachers involved, what I'm learning, you know, how I participated in that learning. You know what I mean? So that you know, tells me a lot about, you know, that's why it was definitely a treat. Yeah. Spoke about you highly. Didn't even that thing speak Queen coming here before all y'all. She come in my classes, you know, before then, and she's sitting there, Pete, she's diligent. You know, little did I know. You know what I mean? You know, yeah, and that's great. That's great, and we need that also. In fact, I think we had it, but light bulb. We need a 5% job fair thing. Or not job fair, but more healthcare. Because now
knowledge of health.
Yeah, knowledge of health. That's right. Like your greatest.
I got a ring.
Huh?
Knowledge of self. Knowledge of health.
Yeah.
It was Brian B from the Street Academy that came up with that one.
What happened?
Yeah.
Knowledge of self. Knowledge of health.
Yeah. We're gonna do a class called Knowledge of Health. Yeah.
Okay.
So we got a incredible team.
Okay.
Committee, the project coordinator, we got the sisters in there, Dara, Naya, Miss J, Sa, which is the mother of the program. You know.
Are you starting that already?
Yeah, we already on it. We're in the process of writing the book. We're in the process of doing panels, our own panel. I want to get back to a program that I started called From Poor Righteous Teachers to Entrepreneurs, where we have 16-year-olds around that age. If they want to get their own business a little older, we provide the money for the LLC. We got a few things going, man. We got a few things going on.
Yeah, great, man. Great work. This is what it's about. I'm not, you know, nothing spooky. You know what I mean? I know if our brothers and sisters who were here, like Cypher and Umala and Prince and Duma, all these other people, they'd have been proud. They'd have been proud. They'd have been like, damn, y'all did that. Y'all did that.
You've been to the Street Academy. You've been there.
Yeah. Okay.
They've been there.
Okay, well, I'm sure they have. Yeah. I need to get there. My team there. We need to get there. Your hours of operation is
9 to 5.
9 to 5. Okay. All right. So
8:30 to 5.
8:35. Got you. So,
Every day. Every day.
All right.
So, and sometimes Saturday, right?
Yep.
Mad Tuesday.
So, well, in this case, it would have to be a Monday for me because
cool.
I'm Tuesday to Saturday work.
That's
right.
Cool.
So, but Monday, I would have
because
to.
we there every day. As a matter of fact, we go back into staff development next week, and the next cohort starts in September.
Okay, got you. Yeah. And what is the criteria for the academy? Like, you said 16 to what?
16 to 24.
24.
And they had to be disengaged.
Yeah.
They had, because you got people that's trying to drop out of school to be in our program, and we're not promoting that. Yeah. We're promoting you to stay in school.
Right.
If you're out of school, you're already messed up. We got you.
Yes.
They get a stipend. So, you know, so that you don't have to worry about where the next meal's coming from. We feed them.
They even give you like sponsorship or recommendations.
Yeah, that's why I want to talk. I wanted to talk.
Like YMCA, the OVP office, they're connected to.
That's the Office of Violence Prevention.
Right.
Yeah. Like they'll connect you to the city in mostly any way to help you, like if you need to get like food stamps or anything, they'll connect with you. They'll even help you
He's even a driving instructor. You know, a couple
Oh
of the
yeah, oh
students.
boy,
So,
yeah.
taking them out driving.
Yeah.
That's not on the curriculum,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
our duty. Is what we're supposed to be doing.
I done got so many
Right.
licenses.
Take us one-on-ones.
One-on-one, yeah.
Having
This-
a driver's license is something that immediately, you know, takes a person to the next
Tell
level
about
because
the
now you can
expo.
travel, you can drive. Or the expo was amazing. You know,
Oh yeah,
all
oh
the
yeah. It's not a surf
students
expo.
with they had to come up with whatever business it was, and it was amazing to see because you saw the different styles that you were dealing with. I had one person, I came to his booth 3 times, he wasn't there. I said, well, y'all guess you don't want to make no money. I had one brother, he was selling socks and t-shirts. He sold out, and he was there and he was engaging,
They
with
were
me.
the vendors.
So I said, so you know what you got to do now? You got to make sure that you have more material next time because you see that you are selling something, you're putting something out here that we need. There's a million people that's doing all of the same things. You don't have to do the same things, and you have to be able to provide something that's needed. That we really need. So it was, it was amazing. We had food, like I said, there was somebody selling socks and T-shirts. That was something different. We had people selling, candies and different things. But they were enthusiastic, and it gave them just a fresh taste of how it is when you own your own. You don't really have to answer to nobody. You can set your price for what it is you want, and they either gonna buy it or they're not. So it was definitely great to be a part of that. And I look forward to doing
part of
more.
it now.
Yeah, I know. It's like you stuck with it. And it's a beautiful
Yeah,
thing.
y'all parts of it now.
Indeed.
The camera's this way.
Yeah.
We got here. When we completed all this, we started studying other lessons, the Law 360 and things of that nature. Not knowing, once we went from, I'm about to write all over his board. Once we went from Now is the Born, or once we went to the original man to Pluto, then we finally realized once the sun is complete within itself, next thing you do is you got the earth. You got to teach out. Why? Because the original man made the history in accordance to the earth's circumference. So you have to teach out because now you're the original man, so now you have to create your universe. It's all about your universal flag. So you have to create your universe. And I was thinking about that.
You sit down.
Jacob.
Yeah.
I don't want to erase nothing.
Go ahead, you sit down.
Where do the animals come from?
From the earth.
Where do the earth come from?
The earth comes from.
It comes from the same place all the rest of the other planets come from.
The universe.
It comes from the sun, foundation. Where did the sun come from?
Sun comes from the universe.
Well, yeah, you see the sun, the constant heat of the sun is produced by a constant transformation of hydrogen into helium. And a combination of those gases not only produce the periodic table of elements of the universe, but also the periodic table of elements of the physical body. Arm, leg, arm, head. So I'm armed with a legacy to put me ahead of all of that. But I ain't here to take over the I just wanted to
No,
feel
you
fine.
did,
I
I'm
just
here.
wanted to- I didn't know I was still on the camera. I just
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to take
that's
a few
okay,
minutes.
that's
I just take. I just wanted to take.
you be yourself.
I just wanted to take a few minutes.
No, go
It's
ahead,
gonna
bro.
take a few
Go
minutes.
ahead, please.
So how can we prove that the animals come from the earth? Because we look outside. As a matter of fact, you look in here. Everything in this room came out the ground. Huh? Helicopters, airplanes, skyscrapers, everything came out the ground. How do we know that the animals come out the ground? So what comes from a source shall return to that source.
Right.
You see an animal in our hood anyway. You see an animal laying on the grass. Come back a year later, he's gone.
Right.
Where did he go?
And bring sound back to his natural
Exactly.
compensation.
Right. Because that's where we get all this. It's the age of the planet, the age is also the body.
Right.
Right? So that was the way that I found easy to teach. To go backwards. Maybe say knowledge of born is going back to knowledge. So it's easy for me to have them look at everything and see where everything comes from. Like I said, the skyscraper, the helicopter, everything come out the ground. Everything. And then you go backwards to where did the planets come from. Their foundation is the sun. Say the universe, everything, the sun, moon, and stars.
They are planets. Planets are something that was grown and made from the beginning. The sun and stars are grown planets. The earth and the moon are made planets. You have to be grown to make a planet. You have to be grown to make a planet. Planet is something grown and made from the beginning. We were told to take the devil off the planet. Many people begin with the devil on their planet. So it has to be taken off. Like often Prince would tell me, it wasn't my job to teach a savage. Because a savage is a person who had the knowledge. They lost it, didn't value it. Don't put an honor and dignity into what they had. EU means hillside, ROPE means rope to bind in. So I give an EU, a savage person, enough rope to pull them in, also enough rope to let them hang themselves. And then you got the Quran where it speaks about the rope of Allah. We can go on and on with this all day because the day is the born day. The born degree in the 140 is the first mention of there even being a 5, 10, 85% in our lessons. Huh? Born, complete, right? I remember one day I was standing outside of the school, and there was a few brothers out there, and I said, the universe is everything. The sun, moon, and stars, they are planets. Planets are something that were grown and made from the beginning. Firstborn Prince hears him. He walks out of the school. He walks over to us and says the root of civilization is in Arabia, the holy city of Mecca, which means the knowledge and wisdom of the original man started when the planet was first founded. He was looking at them, and he was pointing at me. He said, how can that be if he just got finished saying that the planet is something grown or made from the beginning? Froze everybody. The only reason why he didn't freeze me was because I used to tell Kundalini, I want to find the earth. I want to find me an earth. He said, no, God, the earth isn't found. She's made. You have to make her own.
Y'all carry that.
Prince seen that. He seen the, I'm gonna leave with this. He seen that, he went on to something else. He said when the law first started teaching his firstborns, he referred to all of them as almost all of them as grown planets. Almost all of them was either 16 or above the degree of 16. He said the ones coming after would be the made planets because they'll be made from the beginning, meaning they'll be taught from birth. These are some of the signs that they gave me right here, right in this very room, right in that very room. You mentioned the wisdom build, destroy, and agree. Prince asked us what was Yaqub's second rule. He said if he had a first rule, then he had to have a second rule. He went into the question. He said the word first isn't even in the question. What was Yaqub's first? He said, how many first rules is it? Doesn't make sense. Then that's when he asked us what was Yaqub's second rule. He said if he had a first rule, then he had to have a second rule. And he had made sure he broke down what was the rules, what was the regulations, what was the laws. Broke everything down. In this way, we used to have us go through the lessons. As a matter of fact, Prince didn't even want us to write the mathematics alphabet down on paper. Because he said it was a language that had to be learned from word of mouth. And I understood that because you can't learn any language on paper. You can't learn Spanish on paper. You can say certain things to a person, but once they can talk to you, you're going to be lost. Other words, necesito aprender más español en la escuela. Prince used to teach Arabic. Audu billahi minash shaitan rajim. There was other things that they would teach me. There was brothers like Ahmed. And these brothers was the question. Duma. Right there in that room, Prince allowed Duma to examine me. It was a brother named Karim that was in the room.
Yeah, I remember Karim.
You remember Karim?
Yeah. He came in when y'all were younger. Yeah.
And we was in Prince's room, and I was up against the door. And Karim and Prince was sitting on the bed. And Dumar, he was walking around the room. So this time he decided to examine me. He walking around the room. And he says, yeah, there's only 1 degree and 120 that shows who's black man's physical power. But he was saying it fast. Yeah, brothers, on 1 degree and 120 show proves black man's physical power. 32nd degree does not give it. 32nd degree just said that the devil's physical power less than 1/3 of the original man, but does not give the original man's physical power. So 1 degree and 120 show proves black man's physical power. What degree is that? And this is what I couldn't do. I had to have an answer. So I told him, I said, 7 degree in the student enrollment. Do them all that. He said, oh shit. You right. Prince looked up and said, both y'all niggas lost me. Ready to show and prove. With everything else. I came to Prince, I said, look, this saying, I got an Asiatic countenance to 24th Quran. I said, but we gotta be more than 24 Qurans than this, Prince. He ain't say nothing, he gave me a pen and paper. I did the math problem. Shot it right back to him. He said, damn, right and exact. I said, yeah, you gotta take 25,000 and multiply and divide that into 66 trillion in order for you to get the amount of Qurans. Right now, we ain't even living in no Quran. We live in mathematics. They told us the Bible and Quran was expired history according to our mathematical way of living. I can go back and reference. Prince used to say the Holy Quran, the Bible, was made by the original people. He said, then the question is asked, who is Allah? Then it's answered, the Supreme Being, the black man from Asia. You know, so I was constantly being examined. Ahmed, he would come and ask me, how was the black man able to predict history 25,000 years in advance and then live it out the right and exact same? So they always had questions for me. When Prince broke down the 17th degree, what is the meaning of civilization? Answer, one having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, found knowledge, savage, and pursuit of happiness. He said, when you add it, he said, when you add it, is one having equality and is not a savage in the pursuit of happiness. He said, when you multiply it, is one having 120 and is not a savage in the pursuit of happiness. Like I tell my class, don't believe nothing I say. Research everything.
Right, research.
Don't take nothing on face value. But when you add it, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, it's going to give you one having equality. And then you multiply 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times, and then give you 1 times one having 120. And to have something is to present it. You just can't say I have something if you don't present it. Because lessons is about having and presenting.
Right.
So if you have something, you have to present it. And these degrees are to be studied. Who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man. Stop. Now we're talking about geography, so now we have to go over to the map. We got to go to the board. So now we going into that. Asiatic. Wait a minute. I thought we was African. See, when I give a person a student enrollment, I expect certain questions. When I give a person student enrollment, I give them 1 day. 1 day. They said, as real learned student enrollment in 10 minutes. Said he had a photographic memory. So if he has 6 ounces of brain, and he can learn it in 10 minutes, and we got 7.5 ounces of brain, I give you 1 day, 24 hours. Don't come to me 2, 3 weeks later, somebody got my student enrollment. No, I give you 1 day. If that man with 6 ounces of brain can get it in 10 minutes, you can get it in 24 hours. You should get it in 5 minutes. But you can get it in 24 hours. So I give him 1 day. I mean, they tell me, give a student enrollment. They wouldn't even let me get a mathematics alphabet first. They said that was our best part. Why would you get it first?
The law said, that's right.
It's, you know, person you get a mathematics alphabet, then you get a student enrollment. You say, man, I don't want to study this. But now they out there, yo, let me get a CI God, get a power cipher. Oh no, we're not doing that. Nah, once you get to that student enrollment, once you get to that student enrollment, then that'll determine. Well, I'm gonna give you these math, and to teach somebody is to mentor them. You can't give a person something on paper, think they're gonna be educated and grow to be a great man or woman. They have to be sat down, they have to be taught. With each mathematical unit, shit. Back in the day, we were taking every letter and we was adding it up. I went to Man, how about they be born out the mathematics, they be born out the alphabet? He said, what you talking about? I said, you know, you take the K, the N, the O, the W.
Born out of the mathematics.
He was like, nah, you gonna confuse the people.
You gonna say what?
He said, you gonna confuse them.
Yeah,
He said,
right.
they gotta learn mathematics, they gotta learn alphabet, they gotta learn 120, they gotta turn around, they gotta learn all that. He said, you gonna confuse them. So that's when I stopped that. But there was a whole bunch of things, but now it's about education. That's the hard thing. Don't nobody want to get out here and educate the youth. That's the problem that we have. Don't nobody want to get out here in these streets to actually do the work, actually do the teaching. You know what I'm saying? You know, you hear, brother, man, I ain't dealing with them youth, man, they ain't about nothing. Nah, they got them the ones we got to go out there and teach. And there's techniques for that. There's techniques for that. You can't walk into the projects 5, 6 deep. Nah, they get intimidated. You go with 2 or 3 individuals. Therefore, they won't be such intimidated. Rolling up in the project 6, 7 deep. You might have a problem, especially you coming in Newark. And I know the same thing out here. So you coming out with 2 or 3 people, it's a little bit better. You know, we have staff meetings about how we teach. They had me in a staff meeting before. They had concerns on the board. They had the white man is the devil. They had the white Jesus. So they had me in a staff meeting. So the operations manager, Sal.
Yeah.
She gets up, she says, the white man is the devil. She says, well, I really can't talk to Elevation about this because he says everybody is the devil that does wickedness.
Oh, I can eat, bro.
So we can't really say nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? We had one of the students' parents come in.
You told that
He had Cat come in. He said, they had me in the office. They said, Christian father just came in. He said, now the self-class is racist and it's anti-Christian.
Yeah.
They had me in the office. They was like, what did you say to the students? What did you tell them? So I told them that the first slave ship was called the good ship Jesus. I can't tiptoe around this.
Yep.
Everybody has to know the truth. Even if he is a Christian. I had to tell him too. He got to know this. That it was an actual ship. And when I teach from a PowerPoint. So that's the photographs and paintings, things that actually seen. Because some people are visual learners.
Right.
Some people are audio learners. Some people need both of them.
Right.
Some people are hands-on. You know what I'm saying? What was you gonna say?
You also gave out pamphlets too.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and with me, I'm used to building ciphers. So now they're telling us we gotta teach in front of a class.
You didn't say nothing.
I gotta give. Oh, I can't stay up here because the students over there, they can't hear me now. They on their cell phone.
Right.
Which we take. So now I gotta teach. I gotta go throughout the whole class.
Yeah, like you gotta.
I gotta walk through the whole class and teach. Now I gotta give homework. Homework. How do you give homework? Now I gotta give homework. Now I gotta have knowledge of self quizzes to see for retention purposes. How much did you retain? Rashid, you remember Rashid?
Yeah,
You always
Rashid.
saying Asiatic black man. What they said? What's Asiatic?
And Samaj.
What's Asiatic mean again?
Samaj too.
Samaj too. Yeah. And the Street Academy has grown to the point that now we have our own legal team, don't we?
Yes.
Brother Nash,
And Ella.
Ella.
And Jessica.
We have our own social worker. Jessica.
Jessica.
So every year we growing.
Right. And we got a new addition, Desire.
Desire is a sister. She's down with KRS-One Boogie Down Productions. So we pulled it in as part of our staff. You know, KRS-One, he loves it. He sings the peace to the God.
He's even coming to our class sometime.
Yeah.
No, I seen him in there. Yeah, I seen him in there.
Yeah. You know, and like I said, the mayor loves it. A few times they've asked us, man, you got a problem with our teacher, take it up with the mayor.
Man knows exactly what I teach. When he sees me, he says, peace, Allah.
Comes to our family days as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Goes up.
Yeah. You know, his physical brother is the chief of staff. He's asking to be taught this knowledge. Man, Ahmed he said, Allah said, this is better than me and you, son.
Yeah. Peace. Elevation, thank you, man.
Thank you.
And when I say that, I'm not saying to conclude. I'm just saying that to add on.
Nah, so I'm getting away from that board, so I get on that board.
Yeah, no question. No, we're 5%.
That field.
That's right. That's how we was taught.
As a matter of fact, when we got here, this was the challenge. Hold on. Can I just speak about two challenges?
Yeah.
Let me get back to the solar facts. But I know people don't teach 16-year-olds. I know this. I had a 16-year-old I was teaching. You talking about a 3-day fast? What? Dude, your child come home, he don't eat one day. The second day he don't eat. Yo, who telling you not to eat? Who telling you can't eat for 3 days? Get them on the phone. These are the conversations that I had to have. Because I have to include the parents now. Yo, I'm like a mentor to them. I'm look out for them. So I got to go through all that. Through the parents.
Right.
But when I sit down with brothers, I can never have this conversation because they can't relate to it. Because they haven't taught nobody that young. I brought the young brother around and said, man, we're going to go meet some of the guards. One of the guards right there. The guard was making a sound. I was like, oh shit. He's selling drugs. I said, come on, bro. We just gonna go somewhere else. We're gonna go somewhere else. But these are the things that you face when you're teaching a 16-year-old. When they come back and say, man, I can't control my mother puts on the plate. I gotta talk to her. I haven't even had this conversation with nobody because I stand in front of class. I talk about the number 9. We're talking about 9 planets. Somebody said, hold on, there's only 8 planets.
Right, because
Pluto ain't a planet, it's a dwarf planet. Now, I got to deal with that in front of the class.
Right.
Now I got to deal with that. No, athlete NASA's trying to reinstate it.
Right,
They're trying to get reinstated right now to Pluto.
That
was NASA that did it. I wasn't the planetary scientist that did that. So he's still trying to get that reinstated. But these are the conversations that we had. We had the conversation. We talked about the mathematics of the planet. 139,685,000 square miles. They said out of that, only 5% of the oceans have been explored. One sister said, that's true. How do you know there's mermaids? The diameter, 7,926 miles. Midpoint, 3,963 miles. Man's only been 8 miles to the earth. You know how much you know how much things we haven't even found yet? In the earth? Rubies, diamonds, species of fish, sharks, turtles that we never even seen before. Only 5%, 95% of the oceans have never been explored. And we've only been 8 miles into the Earth's surface. But midway is 3,963 miles. There's still a whole lot to learn. You know? And I would love to come out here like I used to, but I got a lot of work where I'm at.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. And then with Newark being a Muslim city, they had a musical event at a Lincoln Park. I had a picture of Allah and Justice on my shirt. A Muslim approached me. He said, yo, who's that? Oh, this is Allah and Justice. The next 3 minutes, we sitting there looking at each other like this. Until he walked away. Because he wanted me to recant what I was saying. Muslim brother said, y'all say Allah is arm, leg, arm, head. That's not what that means. That's not what it means to you.
That's right.
He said arm, leg, arm, head. That's just physical. I said, whole universe is physical. Well, man does have a mind that controls his physical. And I told the Muslim, I said, I'm not even going to charge you tuition fees for this one. I said, man is a Sanskrit word that means mind.
Exactly.
Man actually means mind. He's the head of his household. Original man, the Asiatic black
Come up
man.
here. I asked you to do nothing.
Make on the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. The God of the universe bring me right here. That's my segue to going to the universal flag.
I'm in pain.
Sheriff God said the 8 points of the flag represents what? The ever-expanding universe. How do you expand the universe if you don't teach? You're talking about teaching freedom, justice, and equality to all human beings of the planet Earth. We ain't even teaching it to our damn selves. You know, so this is where the work comes in. Prince said, if I come out there and I walk 2 blocks over here and I say peace and they don't know what I'm talking about, he said, you're not teaching. He said, there's nothing that you can tell me. Well, now you see all around Newark. Peace. Proper education, all the stress levels. Peace is an option. You know, all these things that say peace. Huh? Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You know, and that comes from us teaching. And they respect us. What the brother said, man, you brought the respect back to Newark for the gods. And they watch what they say. I go into City Hall. I walk through City Hall, I hear, peace, God. We teaching. We teaching hard. Allah taught the mayor out here, guess what? We taught our man.
That's right.
He taught his man, we taught our man. Because we know what to do. And bro, talking about the air like Allah. First thing I asked him, who's your firstborn? Give me the names of your firstborns. We were taught study or stutter. Study or stutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my brother. No, I love you, man. I love you, man. I love you. That's right. And first, before I even go, that's the continuation of that energy. Hey, Sudan, peace. Yeah, that's the continuation of that energy. Prince and all our older brothers, you know, again, being under that righteous tutelage under the end, you know, with that. But having said that, you know, again, I like to God. One of the things I teach here also, right, God, take nothing on face value.
Right.
And don't read 120 like a dead letter reader, like a Christian reads the Bible. Okay, my favorite line. Yeah, and then, you know, right, you know, so, and what I mean by that is this, that, for instance, the 20th degree, no, I'm sorry, the 21st degree, right, and the 1 to 40, talks about, you know, how Yaqub, right, was born 20 miles, right? But we know in the alphabet, right, 20 was his wisdom cipher, is true for square, right? So there's a twofold meaning in that. I mean, my namesake. In fact, when we was arguing about was Yaqub God the devil, and I ran to my name, I ran to my name, yo, God, his name God Allah Sha, is my man, is my mentor, that was my mentor. One of them, but one of my main ones, I took his name. Right? I said, God, you know, we was upstate, we was in Clinton. You know, we had like the who's who, like all you justices and all of them was there. Law, born law, law, B, whatever. So that was, you know, yeah, he was born law then. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah, he born law then. Yeah, he come home with law B.
Poor man, you
yeah. So all right, so I said, yeah, God, listen, real simple. I said, God, man, you know, because we getting fantastic with this explanation, right, as to why he was and why he wasn't, right? So I said, man, God, okay, yo, God, listen, man, because, and so, you know, Charles was looking at me, he said, yo, God, I said, man, you know your lessons? I said, yeah. He said, well, what's the 21st degree in 1 to 40? I said, we found like a track of lots of bells in which the black man society. He said, stop. Then he went back into that who question. Who was the question that asked me to be descriptive of a person? I'm asking you to be descriptive, like who was the original man? I asked you what he was or how he was. I'm asking you who he is, right? So then he said he was a scientist. That's who he is, God. You know what I mean? The black man was a scientist who was commissioned to go do that. But later on, the degree will tell you that. However, but then it says he was born 20 miles outside.
There we go.
Right. So 20 is true for square, right? So, and when I'm bringing it back home to the God's bill, right? Like Prince and them and or God gave it to you, or the older God, even Almighty God. I taught you here, but you got to go north, east, west, and south, right? Because some people don't have it, and then sometimes you got to correct. Like when Islam came to the shores of North America, you know, okay, a lot of people became, you know, of course, the nation of Islam, and then they later on became, you know, traditional, you know, right? We were still teaching the black man is God, right? But a lot of people mixed, that's when God was going through his bill, you know what I mean? You know, we continue, listen, man, peace, right? I speak mathematics, I don't speak Arabic. Although I'm not weak in that house, I speak to you in that language to prove who I am to you, right? I'm not gonna be weak in my home, strong in my home and weak in yours. Right. However, since I speak mathematics, we define who we are. Not based upon that, I understand. Now people come through this door constantly, yeah, because Allah, school, Mecca, so Muslim. We had, I'll never forget this story, but a group of tourists came through. So, you know, three brothers, I'm standing by the one, and forget this. Said, what is the school? And let me say something to you. When you're not strong and firm, you can't. See, when someone else besides me is telling you, like you come to me, I'm not you, but somebody else come to me, excuse me, what do you teach? You literally teach that you God? Now, they gave me to go there. But Bubba got up. He miraculously had to go to the bathroom, but before he did, he like, oh yeah, we teach Black history, and he went to the bathroom. So he let the other brother, who took a long way around the corner, well, the black man, when they would take you from, stop, excuse me, how you doing? Welcome to the law school in Mecca. Right, it's the Newark Street Academy, blah, 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 that's the law. By law, we mean God. God is the black man. And then we start going into what we mean. Then, in this story, there's somebody in the back, peace God, who says, excuse me, you teach the white man the devil? So, I'll be honest with you. See, I come from this school, so I came from here. Yeah! He was like, damn, people like, let's get up at it. No, you all right. I said, first, let me be adamant, because he's asking that. You didn't know that. He's asking that question to be facetious. But let me give you the answer, right? No, we don't teach hate. I hate you because you lack melanin or whatever. Because that's not what he taught us. He taught not to be anti-white or pro-black. But history best serves. Which Eurocentric author would you like me to cite to prove that you are? We could deal first with Count Sironi, the ruin of empires. Let's deal with him. Flavius Josephus. Where would you like me to go to prove that everywhere you've walked, right, you've been a problem with black and brown and yellow people? I mean, we're not here. You didn't do that. Welcome to the law school in Mecca. That's not, we don't get, so, and then I had to learn, let me say this too, as I got older, how to teach, right? Because I was teaching linear. This, yeah, black men go, what's the mathematics? Yeah! I mean, that great, because that's mental gymnastics. You better know the order of the day in which you in, but you got to tell the world that, because I was taught upon request. If someone asks you that, 85% come and ask you, you walking down the block, hey, Elevation, what's the day of mathematics? Born. But, see, I know what I mean. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right. See, teachable moment. Right now, because you asked me that to see where I'm at. Okay, it's born. But do you know what I mean by born? You know, me and Ron just today with somebody. Brother came by and said, hey, Peter, what the day of mathematics? You know, he tried to, you know, he had a little antics. I said, no problem. I said, calm down. You ready? Yeah, born. I said, before I explain, do you know what I mean? See, because you're asking me a question. I got no problem giving you the answer. So, yes. And yeah, same thing. I had students, excuse me, your name Allah Sha? Yeah. Why are you telling my daughter or you telling my son not to eat? Yes. Yeah, man. He said, who do you think you are? I said, most people I would have said the last time I checked me, but you respecting people's family, So well, they came to the law school to meet, whatever. They want to do this, right? Here's a requirement. Fasting is good. It's good. Are you Christian? Yeah, they don't fast. Like, you don't do that?
Mm-hmm.
Muslim, you don't do that? I mean, even though our principle is not religious or spiritual, it's actually, like the God was saying, knowledge of self, knowledge of health. So we get you in the threshold of that. Do you understand? Actually, because fasting and learning go hand in hand. Because now your body becomes sensitive. I remember how when I was fasting, like, you didn't eat. I remember, this is how I went. I got the knowledge. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, right, that wanted the knowledge. When we was told that fasting, right, I said, what do you mean? Because I had a clue. I didn't even know what that was. They said, don't eat. Oh, you mean like don't eat breakfast? No, don't eat, period. So there goes those 3. There we go. I'm not doing that. I'm over cooking pork chops now. I can eat pork, right? So it was me and this brother. We stood there. So I said, so then I still didn't know what it meant. So I said, when you said fast, you mean like one fast? Like, what do you mean? He said, no, don't. Then he prepared me. You know what I mean? Going back to the story now, because I like a lot of us, I wanted it. I just had to learn. I was crazy rough edges. Didn't know nothing, but I want that. I want that. Because like you, man, like you, your presentation was right with me. Like first of all, I like to dress, and that comes from that was my first thing with the fire. I said, well, you talk? Look how you talking. I went like a cool breeze over a calm lake. Oh, he's talking self-styled, okay? And I noticed that every time they taught my peers, like overnight, they changed. Like I'm washing up, I'm drinking. We were young, we was just reckless. You know what I mean? Crowns on with the tassel, shaved, peach, and talking different. I'm like, what? Names like Squashy, he becomes Master. Peanut becomes Power. I'm like, what? So I'm like, God, you going to hell? You know what I mean? But then I too. And never forget, we in this is moons ago. We in Liberty Park in Queens in the desert, and Divine Prince is going through the bill. I got this picture. Actually, he's in there. He got all white, and he's teaching. Anyway, but the energy fueled me. I ran. I'm gonna demonstrate this to this church. Bust their door open. Ran in Sunday. Standing room only. This man preaching. The black man is God. I mean, get him out here. So the black, yeah. So the God was like, yeah. The God was like, listen, man, you can't do that. Like, that's not what we teach. He said, first of all, God, check this out. You don't know nothing. If someone asks you, what do you mean? What would you go to tell them? Let's say they stopped. It's okay, bet. And I've been in Cyprus, fast forward, where they closed doors on me. So you don't come out here until you can prove that theory. Right, because we've been teaching that God somewhere else. You really? And literally, they didn't actually say that, but the dude said, come on in, Mr. Jones, how you doing? Yeah. He said, so what is it you're teaching? You said, like my favorite line, unequivocally. Unequivocally, we teach the black man, meaning that there's no little g, I'm the Lord thy God. Like the God, I'm gonna take you through the science though. Cause cause here's where you lack. See, cause you coming from a more subjective and other level, right? But you don't understand the place where you live.
Your home.
Yeah, right. The planet Earth is the home of Islam, right? So this learning, here and then growing and understanding, you know what I mean? Sat down with and had the honor to sit down with some great people and learn from them, Christians. In fact, one of my first when I went back to this church years later, and I got 120, and Reverend Banks was his name, and one of the first books he hit me with was Black Presence in the Bible. He said, read that. He said, I know you thought I didn't know. He said, no, I don't know. And that was good. I still got that book. And then went on to, again, because you can't be strong, and again, somebody's going to ask you, right? So what, I became my journey, right? Because I remember, I wanted to do this, but then I also remember historically, my ancestors and elders, Charles Drew and all them, man, sacrificed and did this, man. But then, ironically, who were they? The Queen. You know what I mean? You got people in the same bill, Phyllis Wheatley. Didn't even know who she was, actually. I'm all those other people, too. His sister told me, you know Phyllis Wheatley? No. Bastard, mean with a pen game. Right, came from West Africa here, was made a slave, created books and poems. They said, I know this nigga ain't, that nigga woman ain't do that. Right? And sat her before a panel, rigorously, almost like they did Sheikh Anadia, but we'll get to him later, right? Boom, sat, and then until they just hearing, like you did, young man, the dissertation. Damn. And they testing her. Until they found that, she is the author of these. No, there was no plagiarism. She didn't copy from, right. She didn't copy.
Original.
These are her words. You know what I mean? But again, the whole essence of my build is learning. And great, both sisters, and I learned double. My sister here is occupation, and I thank you for those words, which sparked, because again, in our nation, well, period, but in our nation, definitely health. Sometimes we skip that beat. Yeah, I had to, and sometimes I gotta, one time, I still gotta do some stomach. I'm walking around, stomach all the way out here. Yeah, with knowledge of self, that's what I said. Damn, God, you get fat. That's good eating.
Wow.
I said, I ain't gonna beat you in the head. That's good eating. No, you almost obese individual. Right. You're not supposed to be doing that. Damn, you a poor sign of health. Yep. Right? I'm getting ready to get the dental work done. I got the jaw great, but you get that right too. It's health. That's right. All those are signs of health. Yeah. Right? I mean, I gotta do what I gotta do, but I'm gonna get that right because presentations. Dumar told me that. I'm gonna see. I ain't gotta tell you. Come in, man. Talk to you, man. You get that right, man. You say you talk like one of us, man. But you can't present in that manner. But again, signs of health. We need to, because a lot of us, man, we some of us have passed away as a poor sign of health, and we wait too late. You know what I mean? Which is again, health expo we need here. You can't talk about nothing else, man. Like the God was talking about. We may need to get you on board to help us, facilitate that. Because we need to understand. Me too. We need to understand that. And go ahead.
One thing we speak about a lot is, I'm like, we were in Jersey. But one of the ideas was going down to the Sharmez Museum.
Oh!
Check it out.
Okay.
You go to any library, any spots like that, they have always had paperwork. Trainings, this, that, all type of trainings. Take one of those, it's we doing out in Newark. Go to City Hall, take every one of the papers, go to the library, and bring it right back to the Street Academy.
Yeah, in fact, what I want to do was just for the point of edification was bring them there, because a lot of times, quite often than not, I'm telling my crackers again, because God said, a people without knowledge of self is like a tree without roots.
That's right.
Right? So, knowing who you are is very important. Didn't know until 79, 80 who Arturo Sharmez actually was.
Right.
Right. He was a black Puerto Rican
that
lived there, and his whole thing was books and compiling information to show our connection to the homeland. So then they dedicated the library to him. Mean library. One of the meanest black libraries in the United States. So again, definitely want to take it's free. You just take a tour, have
Yeah.
and take the babies there.
Yeah.
Because again, knowledge, like my brother said, knowledge is good on black people, but more over our children, because they are next in line.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You know. So yeah, I definitely honor brother man. Please come by again, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You ain't gotta come by because on Saturdays when you free, from your schedule, whatever, come by. More often than not, that will. I think the guards be coming in. I think it comes at 40. Like the young guard wives when they do the talking mathematics. On at the culture hour. He's doing a great job too. But yeah, and then we do some things on Sundays here. The boxing and all other stuff. So there's a lot going on. The children being taught now next door in the computer room. Sister teaching them about script. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because they don't.
And
Because
the clock.
I kind of somewhat understood why, even though that's still important because everything is e-signed. You know what I mean? We don't have to do that no more. But there's a lot of things they don't teach us.
Yeah.
Like when we was coming up, like home economics.
Yeah.
People don't. What's that?
Gym class shit.
Yeah.
Just
Physical health. Right?
Exercise.
Exercise. Right. You just finished eating, so you go into this gym, climb this rope. You know what I mean? All that. Yeah, that's what y'all know.
Talk about
That's
it.
right. Look at these people. Look at these people. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Like we said, we making a whole day out of it. We came here, we get us some nice food.
Okay. Yeah.
Our initial plans was to bring pizza here, but I'm glad maybe. We did. That's a good thing, but yeah, we'll definitely be back. We wanted to come and show our face in the place.
Yeah, I have to, and I'm gonna speak for myself though first. I definitely will make it my point to come up there. I'm just switching to I just got on board with this job, criminal justice agency. So at some point from Monday, Sunday and Monday is my day off. So Monday will be a day in which but then at some point during the week, I'm trying to get, I know Info's already up there, so trying to get some more people up there too. Again, my home circumference equals your home circumference a year every mile. So yeah, definitely want to get up there and check y'all, man.
Yes. Please do. Come
Wow.
on, you have an
Pleasure,
open invitation.
Queen, be able to do that. Yeah, peace, Jake, peace, man. Thank you for that dissertation, huh? Yeah, you can. What? Yeah. In fact,
You must do your own research, as I did.
She put the baby in there too. You want to, Queen? That's right.
If Mecca did this.
Back there speaking about mathematics.
Yeah. She, I know what the day mathematics is.
She gonna know.
Yeah,
She gonna know.